What's up? In this video, I'm going to break down the seasons of life, and it really serves as a prequel to the Triangle of Training Goals. If you haven't watched that, be sure and check that out to understand what it is that you are working on from a health and fitness standpoint. But what this does is it allows you to zoom out and understand what your main priority and season is in life when you look at the 4 sections. So those 4 sections, in my belief, in my experience, is your career, your finances, your relationships, your friendships, your family, your spirituality, meaning of life, religion, things like that, and then your health, right? And that's where your Triangle of Training Goals is. Is it a longevity goal? Is it a performance goal? Is it an aesthetics goal? That's all within here. And what I find really interesting about this is that there's a lot of similarities between the seasons of an athletic training cycle, the seasons of a farming cycle even, and what you have, what I say by that is an athlete is going to have a preseason, a postseason, an in-season, an off-season. And each season requires a certain amount of time for the athlete to get the most out of whatever it is that they're doing. So for an athlete, they're optimizing for their performance. For you, you're optimizing for a long, happy, healthy, successful life, whatever that is for you. And so for a farmer, they're gonna have seasons where they're harvesting, sowing, reaping, and then they're gonna have an off season as well. And so, like I said, it is my belief, and what I have seen with clients is that you are going to have different seasons where different sections of these quadrants become a goal, become a focus. And this is something that I learned from Wake Up Warrior when I went through that Core 4 system. And so this is really kind of just my adaptation from that. But what this ultimately ends up being is you got to understand what level you are in these different areas. So relationships, maybe you're at a 6 out of a 10. Spirituality, 3 out of 10. A lot of people don't take a time to really get that dialed in. You got your career, a lot of people focus on this one, and then you got your health, we'll say that's a 4. Well, what this ends up being is in a macro and micro cycle is you have your career in here. This is the one that is for most people spinning, the one that they're most constantly concerned about. And so it comes into orbit more frequently than the other ones. Whereas spirituality, maybe that's something you think about every 4, 5, 6 years. Maybe your health is something that you're thinking about every 4 years. Your relationships every 2 years as you change up boyfriend, girlfriend, or get married, get engaged, have kids, whatever that is. But what you can ultimately utilize this system for is to basically understand what is my main priority. And priority, the etymology of it, is to say the one thing, the thing that comes first. And if you look in the macro of where you are right now, you probably have one priority. Maybe you're really working hard on a promotion. That is your number one priority. It's not to say that these things aren't also going through cycles, but that's your number one focus. Maybe you're getting married. Maybe you're about to have your first kid. Maybe your kid's turning 2 and they are your number one priority. They are your world, right? Now that becomes the inner circle of this cycle. Maybe you're traveling right now and you're trying to figure out who you are. Maybe you just got out of divorce. Maybe you just lost your job. Maybe your head is spinning and you're trying to figure out what the meaning of life is. Maybe you just joined religion, whatever that is. Maybe your spirituality is in this circle, in this cycle. Maybe you're trying to run a marathon. Maybe you need to lose 50 pounds because the doctor gave you a diagnosis and said, hey, if you don't do this and your blood pressure is really high, high likelihood of heart disease, high likelihood of type 2 diabetes, whatever that is. But ultimately, you gotta understand what the priority is, and then the other things are going to slide further out of this orbit. So you can almost think of this as the planets. Like Mercury is gonna come around the sun most frequently, and then you got Pluto is gonna come into orbit or wherever, I don't know, NASA scientists, but you guys know what I mean when I say this. So with that, when you're trying to get your health from level 4 to level 5, it needs to be the main priority because you have to focus on it in order to get it to grow and level up. If you want your career to go to a level 7 to level 8, you got to make that the number one priority, right? Level 6 to level 7, level 3 to level 4. But here's the thing. The higher this level gets, so let's say you want to get your career to level 10, you want to be the CEO of Microsoft, or let's say you want to get this to level 10, you want to be a professional athlete, maybe you want to be the best parent, maybe you want to be the next Dalai Lama, whatever that is. The more, or the higher level you climb, the more momentum, the more focus, the more you're going to have to make this the one thing and constantly be your one thing, and that thing that is orbiting over and over and over. And now you might be watching this and saying, well, I don't want to be a 10. I want to be balanced. I want to have a 6 or a 7 in every single thing and manage that. That's awesome. I think that's a great goal. That's pretty similar to my goal. But ultimately, if you're gonna do that, you need to say, okay, I am going to make this a focus to get this from a 7 to an 8. And while I'm doing that, I need to have systems in place in my career, in my health, in my spirituality, where that is something that is slowly, incrementally going into, that cycle, into that orbit. I'm able to manage it. Maybe it's slightly getting better, but if you were to stop this plate from spinning, you would regress from level 4 to level 3, from level 5 to level 3. It's very easy to just lose track of your health 2 years later. All of a sudden, where did that fat come from? I don't know. It's because you stopped spinning that plate. You stopped putting that thing into orbit. And so just know that if you're going to say, all right, cool, I'm gonna do the E4 Fit program and I'm really out of shape and I'm gonna go from a level 3 to a level 6, right? You can make that jump, but it's gotta be your focus. There's gonna come times in micro seasons where you gotta go and jump on a week-long project, or you need to make sure you go on a couple dates with girls, or maybe you need to have some really quality, anniversary time with your wife, with your husband, whatever. You need to make sure that you're going to church, doing whatever it is that you do. But this is the number one priority, and it stays in that inner cycle. It gets the most attention. If you think of spinning multiple plates within your head or within your life, this is the one that is getting the most priority. And so in order to get to a higher level, that needs to be the priority. Then you also need to make sure that in going from level 3 to level 6, you learn skills that allow you to maintain that level 6 so that you can then come here to get this from level 7 to level 8. Learn skills, I like to say, get your money, honor the season, do what it is that you came to do. What I see so many people doing is they try and bounce around, right? If you look at Triangle of Training Goals, definitely watch that video, but they'll go from a longevity goal to an aesthetics goal to a performance goal, and they never actually get that progression from level 3 to level 4, level 4 to level 5. And so then they go and focus on something else before they've actually honored what it was their goal in this area to get that growth, right? And so it comes right back to make sure that you get that level up from 3 to 4. Anchor that in, create systems, skills, maintain that, then go and focus on a different season of life. That's all I got on this one. Be curious your guys' thoughts, drop them in the comments below. And this is one of the first things that I try and go through with clients on the initial consultation. And it's really helping them get clear on, hey, what season are you in? Are you in a season where you can make health a priority? Because if you're just gonna sideline it and say, oh, I'm not gonna really focus on it, well, how are you gonna expect to level up from a 3 to a 4, from a 7 to an 8? It's going to take your attention. It's going to take your focus. It's going to take your priority. So like I said, leave a note in the comments if you wanna learn more about the E4 Fit program. We got a link in the description so that you can join, get a consultation and figure out if the program is a good fit for you. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name's Paul. Hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe, hit the link, ding the bell, all that good stuff. Otherwise, I'll catch you on the next video.